What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Gamer Credits. This is going to be level 11, season 2. Let's introduce the players. Player 1, BP.
What up, kid? What's going on with you, man?
Stuff is going on. What about you?
Stuff, man. I love it, man. Let's keep it going, man. Things, man.
Hey,
Things.
Things. Okay, all right.
Things.
Mr. Rick Grimes. I love it. Stuff and things.
There it is.
Carl.
Stuff and things.
Carl. That's what happens when
That's probably gonna be our slogan, man. You know, gamer credits and just put stuff and things underneath. Put it on a t-shirt.
No, please don't. That's
know,
why I
right?
stopped watching The Walking Dead.
Well, man, what are you talking about, man? The way he said Carl was live, man.
Carl.
Cool.
Stuff.
I'm hoping our listeners know the references.
I mean, if they, that's not our problem. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, I don't know the reference. So I'm trying to figure this out
Have
myself.
you never seen
Wait,
Walking Dead?
whoa!
Oh goodness! Oh, what did I walk into?
You walked into it, sir.
Man.
You got to explain yourself now, sir. We can't continue on until you explain yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know The Walking Dead, so I'm going to put two and two together. I've seen 1.5 episodes.
Okay. Well, the main character, Rick, at least he was the main character.
No. You don't have no explanation.
Oh,
Kid.
Okay.
You should have seen it by now.
I'm not going to see it. It was a bad acting. That series was not my taste. I wanted to like it. I tried.
I mean, I'm sure you're not alone, but I mean, I would have thought it because that was like a popular meme, you know.
Oh,
Carl.
You know, like that was the whole thing. Like that was
Carl.
okay. Anyway.
I hate it. I hate it. I hated Carl. That was the worst character in the whole show.
I think of Family Matters when you say that name.
Bro,
so
all the problems were because of Carl.
Whoa! Hold up, man. Really?
Yes.
You just completely just ignoring all the other characters, though, right?
You just ignore the zombies.
That's how bad Carl was of a character.
Dang. Okay.
I hated Carl. Every time he was on screen, I was like, please, just go somewhere.
Let's look this guy up.
That's savage, man. But you know what? Hey, I'm pretty sure there's other people that feel the same way. So,
oh man,
it's gonna be all right, man. You're gonna make it through. It's okay.
Dude has a patch in his eye.
Yeah, I mean, that's a spoiler, but yeah,
it apparently was.
Oh,
you just spoiled a lot. But
it's a patch on his eye. I said nothing else.
Yeah,
I tell you, kid, it's amazing that this man. Yeah, it's amazing how this man actually created a spoiler and he hadn't even watched the series, man. That's crazy.
How is that a spoiler? That is a part of the outfit.
Yeah, it's later season. That's not how he starts out.
Oh,
this is going great, man.
Yeah, we should get through the introduction before you start clowning me on Walking Dead.
Never seen Walking Dead before. Player 2, Captain Starchild.
Captain Starchild had seen 2 episodes. Didn't get to the part where I guess this Carl Grime character showed up. So my apologies.
How could you miss him? He's all over the freaking show. So I hated it. Every time he came on screen, I yelled.
Hey, isn't this supposed to be episode 11? You know, 11 is a lucky number. Stay with that flow, man.
Screw that, man. Walking Dead is taking over now. We're now the Walking Dead show, man. That's what we do. We're talking about Walking Dead.
Haters more like it.
Listen, I couldn't watch that show. I don't know if I could be part of this show if we're gonna be talking about Walking Dead. I'll just
you gonna head out, man?
I mean, I'll listen in.
Oh, nice.
Nah. We'll leave you alone for now. We'll bring it up later.
Cool.
Anyway, player number 3. It's your boy Kid Dream.
Kid.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess again, thanks.
I said, what's going on? Don't have to clown me. It's too early.
Too early.
Yeah, man, you brought this on yourself, man. But anyway, that's cool. Let's go ahead, man. Let's get it going.
Okay. Anybody got a game moment of the week? Cause y'all frustrated.
Yeah, man. Well, I was kind of debating on whether I was going to say this or not. But I did like a kind of a little. I was trying to do a little bit of a surprise, and I actually did a video where I was covering the gaming moment in Ghost of Tsushima. And basically, all I was doing in the video, just to kind of give a quick rundown of it, is just showing some of my builds for the different characters I have in the game, and then kind of giving some, some sample gameplay of that the builds being in action. So just was trying to put something together for that. So I'm still working on it. The footage is, I think the footage ended up being like almost 2 hours long. So, I got to do a lot of chopping up because I'm not even trying to sit through that again. So we're going to make some deep cuts.
I said, people today got short attention spans. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
2 hours. Right?
Oh, I'm listen, I'm along that same lines. I saw that timestamp. And actually, I was on my phone at the same time. I was like, "Oh yeah, this ain't gonna work." So I got to chop that up. So, but anyway, I was working on that. See what happens. No promises, but hopefully that'll come together. Sometime in the next few days.
All right. Well, shoot, just drop all my crystals. Where my quartz go?
Nice.
Oh yeah, I am live on this mic now, right?
Yeah, man. You sharing the bad karma that's gonna befall you now.
No, I have to charge the crystal, but I'm not gonna get no bad karma. But
okay. I just heard crystal drop, so I didn't know what that meant. Like that was a crystal that kept evil spirits away, and now you.
We can have that conversation too. We can make this show about so many things tonight. I don't mind. Walking Dead, crystals.
That's where you lost me.
Moments.
You said now you out, kids.
Yeah. That's where I was sitting back.
It's like I want nothing to do with y'all satanic talk.
Oh, he did not say that. Whoa.
I'm just messing. I'm just joking, man.
Listen, man.
It was a joke.
I get that, but man,
he ain't joking with you.
Yeah, but he got serious, didn't he? Yeah, you take that back.
Oh no, don't take it back.
How dare you talk about my crystals?
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna put a spell on you with one of my crystals.
Exactly, man.
All I'm saying is, if my crystals are satanic, then every watch and everything you have on this world that's keeping time are all part of the whole Satan cult. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, your crystals keep time? Hold on,
every crystal not every crystal, but most watches and clocks do use some form of quartz to use it for timekeeping. So yeah.
I didn't anticipate all this deepness that we're getting into.
I guess. Yeah. That's a stretch, but yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Incredible.
Oh, we're talking about games on this show, so I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all good. But so who's next for the gaming moment,
man? Kid, what about you?
Nice. I love it. Well, I guess it's a future gaming moment, but after the episode, I'm gonna be hopping on. Some other friends want to play Dead by Daylight, so that'll be the first time I'm playing that. They want to. I think it's 5 of us because I think it's 4 survivors and 1 killer. So
one of those games, okay.
Yeah, so I think
we're gonna play that.
Huh?
It was asking BP, did he ever play it before?
No, I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, it's never kind of been my cup of tea. I've never been interested in playing it, but one, the boys want to play it, so of course I am down to do something with the boys. But also the fact that it's going to be, I guess, our own custom game with just us, that does sound a little bit more fun than just playing with like randoms or a small group or something. So I'll check it out.
Yeah, randoms suck. Yeah.
Wow.
Woo, man.
That's my gaming moment for Overwatch.
All connects back to Overwatch every time.
Yeah.
So is that your gaming moment?
Yeah.
Just random suck?
No, that's not it. Wait, were you done with your gaming moment? Because I don't want to interrupt.
That's pretty much it.
You serious? All right. I don't technically
Yeah.
have a gaming moment, but I do want to give a shout out to Soul Calibur 6. I was able to play the game with a couple of my nephews, and I forgot how good of a fighting game that is because it's been a minute since I picked it back up again. And for a weapon-based fighter game, Soul Calibur hands down is still fun. It's like, I don't think anything else comes close. So that was it. I enjoyed it.
When that happened? When you play that?
That would have been on Sunday.
Oh, all right, nice, nice. So, were you getting the victories in, man, or were you
I did
just
say I was
trying to
playing against
hell?
my nephews, right? So when they were younger, yes, I used to win every game against them. But
Mm-hmm. But
tides
now,
have changed a little bit. Yeah, it's this little bit. I still get a win here and there. But yeah, not as much as I used to.
all right, I love the honesty, man. I love the honesty because you could have came in and be like, "Yeah, man, of course, man. Who you talking to?"
I mean, I got no reason to lie. When I get good again, I would brag about it.
Me, I had no
So
reason to tell the truth either, but I mean,
yikes.
Wow.
Yikes.
Dang.
I'm
Okay.
joking. I'm joking. Nah, it's cool.
These are the lessons we teach our listeners. Like, you don't have to tell the truth. What has that done for anybody?
Uh, it depends. Not a whole lot in gaming, but it's a little dark.
Yeah, I
Hey, man,
agree.
that's how we normally end up doing.
All
Uh,
right.
sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
All right, so I guess we're gonna
All right.
get into some of these topics.
Okay, I guess that's our cue to start. Well, all right.
Yeah, man, move it along.
Hey, y'all already heard from the beginning before the show recorded. I was like, we gotta keep this one short. I was just saying.
All right, well, BP, you want to take it off? Not take it off, but get it going.
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. What are you trying to turn this
I
into, man? Like, what
mean,
is this? What did I show
I
up
Hey,
mean,
for?
listen, we can do it all we want now, but
I mean,
You can keep that to yourself, sir.
we need to add an
pause.
OnlyFans link if this is gonna be one of these shows, because
What is
that's
you
where
and
we
these
can get the money
OnlyFans,
right there.
bro? What?
Get the money right there.
I don't know what's up with this OnlyFans thing, man. I mean, y'all got this weird obsession.
Ain't no y'all. Ain't him. Okay. BP, you want to start it off with the remake of Last of Us? What's going on
Man,
with that?
certainly. Man, so I initially heard that there was a leak about the Last of Us remake. I think Dreamcast guy was at least the first guy I saw covered on YouTube. Where he was just kind of talking about the leak had allegedly said that there was no actual change in gameplay. I think there was like maybe some minor adjustments or tweaks here and there to like the graphics, but now there are some newer leaks that are like a lot more leaks that are coming out now. That's actually showing that there's not really any kind of gameplay. Like you literally could put the PS3, allegedly put the PS3 game in now, put it on the internet and tell people that it's the remake, and they wouldn't know the difference. And that's apparently what leaks are saying. That's how bad it is apparently, according to the leaks. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of people who, you know, if they're there to believe it, has been pretty disappointed in that news. So there's kind of been a lot of spark and debate about it because you got the one camp of people saying that, and then you got another camp that says, well, hey, I mean, Demon Souls, I mean, y'all didn't have a problem with that. And so you got, of course, people, the internet kind of debating on that pretty heavy. So yeah, but it's I mean, if it's true, man, it kind of confirms the concerns I talked about in previous episodes.
I
All
tell
right.
you, gotta tell you, I don't think The Last of Us One needed a remake.
Thank you.
Honestly, not even a remaster, another one because if you remember, we got the one for PS4 a couple years ago,
Hmm.
and that's
Yeah, I think it was
actually
2014. I think.
Hey,
yeah, that's actually what I played, what I bought and played right before Part Two came out to kind of fully play Part One.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the Plus collection, right? Or the one of the tiers, I think, right?
I think so, and
The
it's
remaster.
available on the PS5.
Yeah, so it's like that was my whole thing is you're releasing the $70 title, and if the leaks are to be true and there's no changes, then what? I mean, who, and there's no change. You have the remaster there on the. So
Yeah.
I would just try to figure out who were they really pushing this for.
so here's my question. Is it actually a remake or a remaster that they announced that they were going to be doing?
Well, that's the kind of the debate or the issue now is people are saying that the way they presented it, they presented it as a remake, but
Okay.
based off the leaks that are coming out, and I guess some of the people who are fortunate enough to either play it or get exposure to it, um, they're saying no, there's no change. There's literally no change to it at all, like nothing that they can see, from their standpoint. Now there
All
have
right.
been some talks. I think like Review Tech in his video was saying that I think maybe this is based off his opinion or maybe somebody that he heard. I'm not sure, but he was talking about how this could just be a disgruntled like employee that's just looking to kind of tank him. But I don't know, man. Last time we got leaks with The Last of Us 2, and that turned out to be actually pretty spot on.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember
yeah,
that. A lot of
yeah.
people
So
hate
I
it.
don't know.
A disgruntled employee, that's the first thing you go with instead of saying maybe this guy might be
I
giving
mean,
us a warning. Like,
there's possibilities of everything, man. I always like to kind of take in everything until we actually get the facts or everything reveals itself in time. But
mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm open to
Oh,
any possibility possible.
hold on. It just popped in my mind. What if it was not much changed in the game? So what this person was trying to do is bring some type of awareness to that so that the public can then kind of force the hand of the developer to take more time to make this game the way that it is promised to be. So maybe this person is saving the game, not trying to destroy the game.
You know what? And I'm really glad that your conspiracy theory brain kicked in, man, because now I have a question for y'all. Let's say that is the case. Do y'all see Naughty Dog actually then taking that moment to delay it and just say, you know what, our bad, let's go back and, redo it like we need to, or like we were kind of saying we were going to do, or do y'all think they're gonna still push forward with the release
I
They'll push
use this
forward.
as
as it is?
yeah. I said if if they just push forward with the release, they would make the mistake that Sonic the Hedgehog movie would have almost made if they didn't listen to the public. Like if you already getting this type of response for something that hasn't even been shown yet, and then once
Mhm.
you show it and it is gonna justify or validate what was already said, that's gonna completely flatline the game before it even comes out because why spend extra money for something that you can find for cheaper that's technically the same game for the PS3?
True, true, true. What about you, kid? What you think?
Oh, they're still gonna push it out. Absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
What's your
that's
overall thoughts on it? Like, if the leaks are true, like, what are your overall thoughts? That are you disappointed, or you just kind of like not surprised? Like, what do you think?
I
I'll
mean,
be surprised.
like, honestly, The Last of Us Part One. I don't know what you could change to make it better. I mean,
Hmm.
it was as close as perfect as a game can be. You know what I mean? Like it was a phenomenal game. The story, the writing, the characters, the gameplay, the graphics. Maybe you could argue boost up the graphics a little bit, but I mean, other than that, the game was phenomenal. That I don't know what you can really change and add to a remake that makes it worthwhile. Um, you could take the same engine and animation style and gameplay loop of part two and put it in part one, but I mean, part one was sufficient. It doesn't need it. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
just, I guess my question is who really wanted a remake of part one right now? You know what I mean?
yeah. And well, if you remember when they first announced it, that's what majority of us was talking about. I think we even talked about on the last episode, not last, but the an earlier episode. Like who was it for? Like you said, like who was asked for? Nobody. The answer was no one.
Yeah.
And just to kind of piggyback off what you said is, and the main reason is because it's our Last of Us when it came out was so far ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just for like the visual presentation, some
Yeah.
of the mechanics. I mean, yeah, like it's something that even to this day you could go back and play and don't feel like, oh, I'm going back into the Stone Ages to play this ancient game. It still feels
Yeah.
pretty relevant with the themes. It still feels pretty smooth and good with the gameplay. I mean, mind you, The Last of Us 2 improved on it with some new additions like the prone and all that, but
Yeah.
essentially it still has that same core that you love
Yeah.
from it originally. So that's why I was always concerned. Like, why do we need a remake? I mean, I know they were trying to do something with the show and do that whole tie-in to get people up to code with it, but again, you have that old classic game that you remastered already that you can
And,
play on the PS5. So yeah,
and
it just
you know what would probably go better to go along with the show because that is a good point.
mhm.
The multiplayer mode that they're adding with part two. Like focus on that. Give us that. I think that's what people want more is that what was it called? Um the multiplayer mode. Not
The many
Frontier.
of us.
To many
No.
of us,
Oh god, what was it called?
to many of us, they should call it that too.
No, please hope not. If so, I can give you my address and send me my check.
Nice. But I know what you're talking about, kid. I can't really. I know what you're talking about. I can't really remember right now.
Looking it up.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Well, since you're doing that, um, yeah, I mean, just to kind of go on what you said, I think it would have been better served for them to just look at either doing a new project, maybe just kind of focusing more on the next Last of Us if they dared venture into that, or even look at a whole different project altogether that to focus on. Um, I think they would have been better served than doing that right now
Hmm.
instead of this remake, the alleged remake, I should say at this point.
It was called Factions. That's what it was.
Factions. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So, I don't know about you, but I think Sony has a lot more of the games I would love to see a remaster or a remake of. I know one that kind of comes to mind immediately, Infamous.
Oh wow,
Hmm.
I would
Okay.
love
that
an
was a great game.
Infamous remake. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
not too bad. Not too bad.
and you could, they probably wouldn't. They probably want to nickel and dime you, but you could bundle Infamous 1 and 2 as a remake and just have both of them together as one, Infamous collection or whatever.
If they
Okay.
do a
That
remake,
would,
can they just slightly change it to where both characters can be playable in one game?
well, Infamous 1 and 2 had the same character.
I thought 2 had a female character. Why am I thinking that?
What are you thinking of? What?
What other game is that I'm thinking about?
Infamous. Wait, Infamous was a New Light with the female character.
Yeah, maybe New Light though, but that
I
was
think that was part.
Second Son.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
Yeah,
the third.
second that
shoot,
was
that's
part
right.
two.
That's
Yeah.
right. All right. So I was thinking whoever the next one
Oh,
was
it's.
with
I
the
think it's
female
called
character.
First Light. Yeah, I think it's First Light. I don't know. Was that the third installment?
It must
Yeah.
be.
Second Son is the third game.
Yeah. Oh, Second Son's the third game.
Yeah, and you play as a whole different character.
Oh, okay. See, now I'm invested now. Star. Now I got to figure this out now.
Which is a good game. I would still say I would recommend people play it, but Infamous 1 and 2, I mean that is a little old and outdated and a little clunky. So I would love to see a remake of those two games.
It's
Yeah.
a standalone companion to Infamous Second Son and serves as a prequel. Infamous First Light. Okay. Okay. But yeah, that would be a pretty cool idea.
I
But
think Star
First
mentioned.
Light. Hmm.
Well, I know you mentioned. I can't remember if it was in the group chat or in the last episode, but you mentioned the God of War remake.
Yeah.
what was it,
I
God of
mean-
War 3 or something like that?
It would be 4, wouldn't it? No, it would be
I thought
3.
you-
It would be 3.
Oh, yeah, I thought you said 3, yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say what?
Yeah, 4 is when they went completely new God mode with the graphics.
Are you
But
talking about God of War 2018?
is that what they're calling it?
Well,
Mhm.
it's just the
It's
newest
just God
one
of
was
War.
called
Yeah.
God of War. Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
wait, it was never called God of War 4?
no.
Oh
No.
shoot.
No, some people are just recognize it as that just because they know the saga, and you know what I mean. It was the next installment, but it just called it God of War.
No. But yeah, God of War 3, that would be amazing for a remake.
Yeah, man. Clearly, that was like the trend to start doing that. What's that?
You got a Sony game you rather they remake instead?
Oh man, I didn't think it through. To be honest with you, nothing that really comes to mind right now. I sound like Star Child, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, wow.
So I'm joking.
Shade. Okay.
I
The
know,
burns tonight. The burns.
I know, man.
I think I shouldn't have dropped that crystal. I think now it's getting the karma from it.
Oh man, not the
I
crystal.
can't. Hey, man, I can't fully load it, man. Let's see. Dang, I have to kind of do a quick search in my head on some good Sony titles.
All right, while you pull up your Google browser in your head, let's see what else is going on.
What was was Tenchu? Who made Tenchu? That wasn't a Sony thing, was it?
Tenchu?
It's like Ninja. It's like y'all don't remember Tenchu, the classic stealth ninja game from PlayStation, like from the PlayStation 1 days.
PlayStation 1.
Tenchu.
The stealth video game developed by Acquire for the PlayStation. So I don't think that. Well, it says published in Japan by Sony Music. That was I don't know. Anyway, if that was like a strictly PlayStation thing, then I would have loved that. I mean, that game was phenomenal. I can't believe you haven't played that.
I'm looking at the graphics for it right now. They're like a PS1 game, wasn't it?
It is. That's what. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. They originally on PlayStation
I
1.
never owned a PS1, y'all. I'm sorry.
I think my heart just stopped, man.
You already knew I never owned a PlayStation when we talked about this.
I think
Don't play me
you
right
know what,
now.
you probably did, but I probably put it out of my head as you know what he was going through some things. He wasn't telling the truth. Like I was just trying to make
Mm,
up anything in my mind to just forget about that.
Wow.
But
Gold.
nah.
yeah, I don't know. But you're probably right. You're probably right. I got a bad memory, honestly. But yeah, man. I really got it, man. I mean, it's dated now, but it's such a great game.
Take your
Okay.
word for it.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna go into it anymore because I don't feel like getting picked on. But for the rest of y'all that don't know Tenchu, just Google it. You know, search YouTube. I'm sure there's videos out there.
Oh yeah.
Try not to laugh too much because of how it looks, but just pay attention to the gameplay. And
I
I
mean,
mean,
we
it
did
probably
say
looks dated a little
PS1.
bit.
Everyone knows what to expect.
Yeah. So, but I mean, still, the new generation. I'm sure, like kid over there probably be like, "What is BP? Really? Like this game looks trash." But it was fun back then. Trust me.
Might just have to take your word for it, Chief.
I know. That's why I'm just gonna leave it alone.
It's all good though. It's all good.
So,
But
but yeah, so that's the only thing I can think of that immediately. I'm sure there's
is
others though.
isn't the remake, the Last of Us remake, supposed to come out this year? Or am I bugging?
Mm,
I thought that they said either next year or no, I think it was next year. I thought remake release date. Let's see here. Yeah, next year, June
all right,
14th.
audience, we just want to let you know that we like to get our information on the fly. So when we do our
That's how we're
shows,
doing it. Actually, this is improvement from the other episodes. Most other episodes, we just be like, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
yeah, something
I
like
don't feel like
that.
looking it up. So we're stepping our game up.
A little bit, a little bit. So next year is when it's supposed to come out?
No, you know what? Actually, I got that wrong. Lord. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
put in.
September. September 2nd of this year.
Oh, so this year.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I looked at it wrong. It
What?
gave me the release date from. I thought it said 2023 and it's 2013. So that's my
Wow.
fault.
Hmm.
That's my fault. I
Wow.
was wondering why that date was so familiar. I'm like, really?
Which, it's weird. That's so soon. And we have seen like nothing of this game.
Well, it's out there, but for purposes of not getting struck down, not a lot of places are showing it. Like
I
publicly.
wonder I wonder if they're gonna delay it. Cause I mean, I haven't seen or heard much about it. And for this to be The Last of Us, like there should be ads and commercials and people just constantly talking about it. That's odd that there's like no media coverage for this.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where the concern is that from the leaks that people are really feeling like, well, this is, because it's so close to the release time, and like you said, there's not been any real official, gameplays and
Yeah.
announcements or anything like that. So that's why people are really even more concerned about those leaks being, true. Of course, it's a good idea to just wait and see, but that's just people's concern now. Like, yo, come out, Naughty Dog, and prove us wrong. Say that we bugging something. Because
Oh,
right now, that $70 is looking ridiculous.
yeah. Speaking of remakes, it's a little off topic about Last of Us anyway, but BP, you saw the Final Fantasy Part 2 remake comes out next year finally.
I did see that. I saw that got announced, and I heard there was some kind of confusion about that. Though, can you elaborate? Have you heard of anything such thing, or am I tripping? Or
Uh, I'm not sure what the confusion was. I know uh, there might have been some confusion because they also announced a remake for Crisis Core as well.
oh, okay.
um which is like a separate, I think it's in the same universe and everything, but it's like a separate story, so it's not the 7 remake, but in that same universe, but just a different story. And that actually
Mhm.
comes out this year. But yeah, we finally got the window anyway of part 2 and the title Rebirth apparently.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm not,
I'm curious because
yeah, I mean,
I've heard little tiny bits of pieces of it, and something about the new open world section is going to be all, it's not going to be like the original or something like that. So it's going to be like a little different take. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know what that means.
yeah, because first part 1 of the remake wasn't really open world. It was really linear. I don't know if that's how the original game was, but the remake was super linear, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it started off like that in the beginning, but you know, when you get past Midgard in the original, yeah, you go into open world. So I mean, it's not like the open world as you think of games nowadays, but it was still where you can kind of go literally traverse the entire planet. Um, so
Okay.
but it's interesting. I want to kind of see how this works out. Star, didn't you say something about you mentioned something in our chat earlier about going over remakes or remasters or something like that about
Oh yeah.
good, like talking about good and bad ones or something like that?
Well, not because it'll be just our opinions on what we consider good or bad remakes.
Right,
But I was
of
trying to
course, yeah.
figure out, as the industry, going forward, are remakes and remasters they're going to be their go-to for quick, easy money. Like, if I feel like people can always go back to the retro games and in the catalogs online and still play these games and enjoy them. I just don't understand how they gonna try to get the amount of number of people to buy remakes or remasters when the games that they're remaking or remaster is currently still playable. Like there's some Zelda games that I would love to see reskinned with some HD graphics or 4K graphics, but I'm not asking Nintendo to do that. Now, if they decide to do that, great. But other than that, I enjoy playing those games to this day. If they was even made back on the NES, like I don't understand the purpose for
Mhm.
remakes and remasters. So the only way that I can justify for a company to do it, because it might be a lot easier and quicker to do these and make profits. But I don't know if we need it I don't know. The public, I don't think anyone's asking for it. Just like with movies, it's lazy. And I think that when it comes to gaming, you're not supposed to keep going backwards with things and just reskinning it. You're supposed to be thinking of new ways of playing and new ways of getting immersed in the game. And let the old games just be what they are, just memories of great times. But what's new? What are we doing new for this industry? But yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely think remakes and remasters definitely have a place, and I think a lot of people do want them. I think companies kind of milk it, and we get them far too soon or too often, as we kind of see with the Last of Us Part One remake. But I think it definitely is an important thing, especially as we kind of talked about before, as games get older and older and they get harder and harder to play, and to the point where it might be even impossible at some points in time. And so, um, I definitely like the idea of them because it always brings these older games back into the spotlight for today to give people a chance to kind of play and experience it. Because Star, as you mentioned, Zelda. You might get mad at me. I haven't played a lot of Zelda games.
Oh, I won't get mad at you. I mean, only awesome people play those games. So, I understand.
Nice. And personally, I've been one of those people who I've wanted Zelda remakes or even just remasters for years because I want to play them. I didn't have a GameCube growing up. I didn't have an NES growing up. I didn't have all these things, and so, uh, but because for whatever reason Nintendo wants to make it impossible to play their older games without buying that old hardware, I haven't had a chance to play some of these games. But I would love to play them, but yeah, it's hard. I can't just
Now,
download it
can
on my Switch.
can I just say this? It's not
Here we
like
go.
Nintendo is making it harder for you to have access to these games. Nintendo is just like any other company. We made these games 20, 30 years ago. We are making new things now. That's what companies in to me can stay viable. Like you don't go back in your catalog as a singer and remake your old songs. Like you don't do that. Like
But
people who want access to those old games, they can go through collecting an old console from a collector or from a gaming store, and they can get these games. You can still find these games and play them. I mean, it's not impossible to play.
let me
But
ask you, Star, how often
mhm.
do you go and listen to these old songs?
The thing is, if you want to do that, I
Ah,
listen to old songs a lot. So if you want to, you can find methods to do so. Like I don't think you should leave it up to a company to go out their way to use up their resources to remake something they already made again 20 and 30 years ago. Mind you, if they end up doing it, I'm not going to complain at
yeah.
all.
If I gotta go buy a record player the records, the right cables, the right connections. If I got to go out of my way, I'm not doing it. Like
See,
it's your job as the company, as the maker, the artist, the developer, designers. It's your job to make it as easy and convenient for me, the customer.
see,
I ain't doing all that. You lost me.
I'm just saying that generations we have difference of opinions on a lot of things, which is kind of cool to see. But if you were to talk to someone from my generation, the loops and hurdles you just mentioned is the fun factor for us. We go out our way to find those record players, to find that one specific record so we can listen to and keep on, keep for ourselves, or find that console out there for cheap so we can play these games. For us, it's like this journey we want to do on purpose so we can relive our childhood. But we don't ask the companies to make these games again for us because they're not going to make them the same. So it's not like we're going to rekindle the memories. We be playing something slightly different. So for me, I can go back and track down the old game and track down the old console and just enjoy that journey and just find that game and play it. I don't want Sony or Nintendo or even Microsoft to have to keep remaking these games every 5, 10 years because the technology is going to keep jumping. When we get to VR, to where VR is going to be like the main way of playing games, are we going to then ask for those remakes and remasters for VRs?
Absolutely, Resident Evil 4 VR.
So you want to just get ravaged by whatever zombies and monsters from Resident Evil
Yeah,
within
it
the
sounds
VR in the
terrifying and
future now,
fun
in the
at the same
future.
time.
I mean, in the technology in the future where you can feel every bite and every gunshot, whatever, however the technology, you know,
Man,
advances.
it's gonna make you play better.
I don't know. I just think do new things so we can have new memories.
So I'm going to contest you all that in a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And here's the
Okay,
reason
what?
why. Well, because y'all are kind of going back and forth with the remakes of the Nintendo games and how, Star was saying they don't really owe it to us to do that. And you were saying, well, they do owe it to us. Here's my take. So I feel like if Nintendo didn't make it so difficult for you to get access to those games, because they don't allow you to go out there or people to build like the ROMs or emulators to have other people access it as a game of of a form of game preservation. They don't allow that too much, or they dislike that and do everything they can to shut that down. But at the same
Yeah.
time, they don't provide any real means of accessing those games. So if you want to take that stance as a company of saying, look, it's not upon us, even though technically I disagree with it slightly, that it's not like when you want to make that stance, like it's not on us to make this, to preserve this stuff, or it's not on us to remaster it so you can enjoy it from before. It's not our fault you aren't from that generation. So you just need to focus on what we're giving to you now in the new, the new era. Then it's like, okay, great, cool. That's your stance. You're being honest and transparent, fine. But then why take issue with people who actually care about game preservation and want to put it out there for people for newer generations, in fact, to enjoy? If you want to put Contra or like Super Mario 3 out there, then why not just let them do it? If you're not looking to make money from it, or you don't think you can, or you don't think it's worth your time to invest back into that, hey, that's great. But then why not allow the people to literally, and you can even subcontract or can go to these players or passionate people who are willing to create these ROMs and or to emulate this stuff. You can go and make partner with them and say, hey, go ahead and do this. It's not gonna be a lot of money or whatever. It's just pure passion. Great, cool. We're down for it because we do care about game preservation, but they're just actively doing everything they can. It seems like to shut that down. And I think that's where the issue is.
Now,
Um,
the
now,
only thing I can say to that is from a business standpoint, not saying from a consumer standpoint, because I agree with everything you just said as a consumer. But as a company, no way in the world I want someone else taking ownership of my IPs, even if
but it's
they're
not
not making
ownership.
money. But
It's
no, I'm
not
saying,
ownership.
but even if they're
Just
not
licensing
making
out.
money off of it, they are
Right.
now putting out there in the zeitgeist this other version of a game that is not the official version, that in the future people gonna get them misconstrued. Like, okay, I'm playing Zelda, but you may not be playing the original Zelda. So
But that's why I
who
said license out to them, because I know full well that they have to have this stuff stored somewhere. So you can reach out to these people and say, hey, look, here's the official capacity of these games. Go ahead and do your thing. And you
all
make
right.
that contract with them to say, hey, this, you're only able to do it in its entire original form. You cannot do tweaks, you cannot do mods, and that should be fine. But
Again,
that's
as
how
a
you control that.
consumer, I agree with you as a consumer, but that is ridiculous for a company to even want to do. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of these games are tied to a lot of developers and designers and artists. There's a lot of names tied to these games. And it's not like Nintendo saying, I'm protecting this IP for our company, but there's a
They
lot of
are actually.
artists. But there's a no, there's been a lot of posts from a lot of actual artists that worked on a lot of these games who don't want to see their material being used in those ways. They don't get any type of credit and or money or nothing for seeing their work being redone by somebody else. So I agree that as a consumer, anyone who can have access to making these games for today use, by all means should be able to. But as a company trying to back that, that's kind of there's a lot of games that Nintendo made, and there's gonna be a lot of requests for a lot of different type of remakes. It's a
So the
it's a
solution
can
is
of
to shut
worms
it
there.
all. So the solution is to shut all that down. Don't care about
No,
history. Don't care about where
no,
that
no,
came
no.
from. Just
There, you know that
we're
there's a,
going forward. That's it.
you
Because
know
I
there's
just
an
think that's
industry for
weird.
collectors. You are able to get access to all these games. Unfortunately, some of the rarest games might cost more than others. But you can always, as a consumer, if you really want your hands on a certain game, you don't have to look to a company to go ahead and remaster or remake it. There's a industry that supports collectibles and an industry that does trades for games. You can still get your hands on some of these games.
So,
Just like
Star, I
the
got a question.
mhm,
I disagree with that. But
So,
go ahead.
so what about like the newer generation? So, like people
mhm.
my age and even younger who weren't around to experience like the original Zeldas, the original Mario's.
You can still get it.
Yeah, but how can a kid get it? You
What
know
do you
what I
mean?
mean?
What do you
You
mean?
know, well, you can't just hop on the Switch and just buy the OG, buy remakes of Zelda, buy remakes of Mario.
All right.
If you're a younger person, you would have to jump through all those hoops. Talk to your parents, try to find an N64, try to find a cartridge, try to
And,
find a memory card, and
and
Yeah.
expensive.
keep in mind, and keep in mind, all that stuff is connecting to old equipment, to like older TVs. It's like that. You can't
Oh
just sit
That
yeah,
there and
that's
is the
right.
think and put that
fun
on new TVs and stuff.
That is
No
the fun factor to that, because there's also another industry
fun
of people
factor.
who, yeah, there's an industry of people who actually mod certain consoles so they can use outputs for the newer games or newer TVs.
See, I think you're
Here's
mixing enthusiasts up with people who just are generally curious
no,
about how the gameplay. There's not anybody out there who's going to be casual about, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go out and research and get all these different equipments and different
it's
attachments
not
to
that
play the
much.
whole game. No,
It's seriously not that much of a difference. There is, even if you don't want to mod a console, there's adapters that allow you to use like RCA cables to HDMI cable. Like
But
there's methods to be
but
able to
it,
play these games. I'm
but
just making
again,
this.
that's more and more money. It's like, okay, so not only
and
did
that's
I
my
buy the
headache too.
console, did I buy the
So
memory card, did I
here's
buy the game, now I gotta buy the adapter. It's like
here's the thing.
Yeah,
I like I
let me
just
give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. You want to
hold on
watch an old?
before that scenario. I gotta get this one
All right.
thought out. Just one thing. For all the stuff you're saying that's gonna cost the consumer to be able to have access to that older game, how much money are you gonna be asking these corporations and companies to remake or remasters or just put in their time and effort to give you access to these games on their current platforms versus it already been made? You still have options. They don't have to do this. But I get it. I understand as a consumer, you want this. But
You know what it?
as a
You know,
standard of just, hmm?
I was gonna say, you know what it costs for them to allow it to be emulated? Nothing.
But
uh,
that emulation is taking away from the people who created those games. There's a huge
I
argument
don't see
about
how.
emulate.
I don't see how that does.
I
I'm
mean,
confused.
that
You
could
put
be a
the all you gotta
great
do is put
topic.
the
That
yeah,
could be
but
a
all you
great
gotta do is
topic.
put the tags, and put the information on who made it, and give
People are
credit
not
where it's
doing that.
due.
People are
I mean,
not
but you
doing
put
that.
it on there, so even if somebody came out later and said, "Oh no, I made this game," you can clearly dispute that and have factual
W-
evidence against that. That
But
doesn't make any.
by law, you don't need to dispute that because you shouldn't be allowed to do that. This is someone else's creation that you're trying to act like
Let
I'm
them
taking
say it. Don't let
ownership to
Nintendo just
renew
make
it.
a blanket statement over, "Oh yeah, we don't want nobody using any type of ROMs on any type of property." It's like, don't you know what I mean? Leave it up to the people who made it. And if they're so independent from Nintendo, I
All
just
right,
don't buy that, man.
let's use the music industry for a quick second here.
Oh
So
no, you can't. No, you
I
can't. The music industry, you know that they are. That's a whole another league on their
I'm
own, bro.
I'm just saying I have posted a video of me exercising. This is just a rant on top of this. and I
Okay.
had music playing in the background. This is not even music that I actually, added to the actual video clip. It was just in the background music, and basically, Instagram and Facebook striked it as being copyright infringement. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to actually advertise that song or make money off that song. It's just the normal music that plays in the background when I'm exercising. That when I recorded the video was also captured. They are trying to, as a music industry, they are protecting in their minds the rights of the artists, the creators, and everything by doing this because they know that some accounts can still use that music to and earn money off of it, but the artists and whoever else that wants to get piece of it aren't going to have access. So they are very strict about how music is shared online in other type of avenues. The gaming industry does not have to do it differently. They also know how much money was invested, who has access and rights to those creations. They don't want everybody just doing whatever they want with their IPs and creations. So, as a consumer, I can care less about any of that. I just want the game. But it makes sense from the standpoint as a business. You don't want everyone to be able to have access to your material, to your product, without some type of legal means of still having it tied to your quality of control and giving representation and wherever else money that you might make between you and the other original creators because it's not your original idea. So
Well, here's the thing with the music industry. The reason why that happens is a lot of that music that you're talking about is still able to be found on streaming sites or uploaded to places you can actually access that information, that the songs from.
that's
Like
true. There's some songs that I cannot find on many different streaming sites right now. Songs that I
very,
love.
very few songs in regards to in comparison by the many numerous songs you can access on there.
But
Trust and believe, as a
but
song
here's my
enthusiast,
point. Here's my point. You are still able to dig around and find it because some of the songs that I can't find on the streaming sites, guess what I had to do? I had to find the physical copies. I bought records. I bought CDs so I can have these songs for my collection. So it's like I get it. I get it. What you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But from a business standpoint, hell to the no. They're not going to just
what
But
let that
what
happen.
I'm
but see,
what I'm saying is you can literally go on Apple and go in there and purchase the song off there, right? Where's that money going to go to? Do you think it's that
Listen,
random person's going to get it? No, the
yes,
Apple and the artists are still going to get that money and the royalties for it, right? So the
correct.
same thing could happen for Nintendo if they decided to say, "Hey, let's put our stuff out there so people can get access to it and play it." They're not doing that, so then that leaves people with what? No options other than to go try to find it some
That's an
back
option.
alley
That
like
is not
pawn shop somewhere.
no back alleys. No,
it's
man.
it's an option.
Don't make it
It's an
sound like that.
option. It's an
Please,
option, but it's not
like show.
feasible for
No,
everybody.
no,
And
but
that's
out
the problem.
exactly, and I want but here's the thing, there's so many games out there, I challenge you right now to go up there, get a whole entire list of all those different games and show me where I can easily get them
But that's the
online.
thing, it's not gonna be easy. These games are 20, 30 years old. I'm just saying,
Well, then
like,
you
even
look
with
at it
music, there are some songs that I love from soundtracks, music soundtracks, I'm sorry, movie soundtracks, singles that did not make it into other albums. So those songs, those singles that I love, I had to track them down. All I'm saying is, if I could not even find that song, I'm not gonna lose no sleep over it.
well, that's fine for you. That's cool. Like, and look, I agree because here's the thing. Same thing with me. I'm not gonna go out of my way to do it. That's just, but that's me though. The thing is, I recognize the need for access to these things because this is legacy, man. This is history. Like
Yeah,
you
and
would
just
want to have some access to it to
and
pass
just
it on because
imagine.
otherwise, what are we doing this for?
Yeah, and
What is
just
everything
imagine
for?
as more time passes, like, yeah, you could argue it's difficult, but maybe feasible, today to go out and find these older hardware and games. But what about 10, 20, 30 years from now? It's gonna be way more expensive and extremely difficult to go out and to
W-
do it.
One
You know,
more, one more point I can make on this, because again, as a consumer, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. When it comes to TV shows, I grew up with a bunch of TV shows. I don't know if the listeners understand from my voice that I'm an African American male, but
okay.
They know now.
I grew up watching a lot of black shows, and a lot of these shows do not make it onto streaming services. And because of that, I have to go out my way to find these shows in other methods. I would love for a lot of these places to stop being prejudiced, I guess, in thinking that they don't want to put effort into putting these shows on their streaming platforms. But at the same time, I'm not gonna make it their responsibility to do what's right. I just understand that if I need access to these things, there's other methods for me at the moment. But when it gets down to the next 50 years, and not saying I'll still be around, but when it comes to people trying to have access to things that old, I don't care if it's games, music, or TV, you're just gonna have to say, you know what? That's in the museums now. I'm sorry, it's just that old. It's nothing else we can do to keep you happy because it's not gonna
I
be
mean,
worth the
but
cost to.
there is something that you can do, and
You're
that's
saying
put it on these
like
platforms.
you're saying that someone gonna have to come up with the money to come up with the methods to keep these games, like you said, preserving games. I agree we should, but someone needs to be able to come up with the method to do so. But this having anybody that has a passion for that game to remake it to have access to do it without coming
Well,
up with some type of illegal way of uh making it to
well,
where people still get credit for it, it's gonna be hard.
but that's the thing is that especially with Nintendo, there's so many people who have made so many emulators to play these older games for free.
Yeah,
Like it would
that's
cost
horrible.
Nintendo literally nothing. They could pay nothing and
Right,
have
and that's my
all the games, but they
yeah.
choose not to.
And
That's the
that's my
problem.
issue is because that's my whole issue. Because look, I respect the fact that you're saying from a business standpoint, it makes no sense for them to do that and to invest in that because that stuff costs money and they'd rather take that money and use it on things, new ventures and all that. I get that. But then if that's the case, if it's not worth your time to invest to do that, to put it out there for people in that
That's not what I'm
regard,
saying.
then why do you care
I'm not saying
that
that's not
somebody
worth
goes
their
out there
time.
and preserve it? Well, no,
I'm,
I'm trying to go off what you're saying because you're saying to as a business standpoint, that stuff costs money, right?
that's not the first that was not the first thing I said. The first thing I said that for the actual creators, original creators, they are not getting their credit, they're not getting their money for it. And
But the
like
credit,
just like with
what
music,
that's why I still don't get that argument
royalties
because
have to get paid. Somebody
that's
is
fine.
gonna
And then well, then
someone's
set
gonna
it
make
up to where
money
they
off of
can get that.
these remakes.
Then set it up to where that can happen. It's easy to do that.
I said that though. I said that if they could come up with some type of way where they can make this thing viable legally, then yes, it should be done.
And then it
But
can be done. It's not like it's not been done. Other places have done this, so you can do it. It's
what
just
other
do
places?
they want to?
What other
Like
places?
you even have like music. I just literally talked about music.
I just said the
Go on,
same thing, but there's some songs that you still won't find on streaming service. Still some TV shows you still
but you're
won't
making
find on
it sound
streaming
like
service.
all old songs are like that. No,
But
there's only a few here and there that you may not get, and
and
sure, I mean
Nintendo
that's
has
fine. But
remade some of their games. So it's not like we are just
Some,
acting like,
very few.
some.
oh
Like
no,
it's
not
Yeah.
not
very
all the
few. I bought a
hundreds
bunch
and
of
hundreds.
remakes.
But
Hold
they
on,
have.
hold on. We can't say that.
Oh, name them
It's
right
not
now. I
few.
need you to
Not
name
a few.
10 remakes right now,
I'm
please,
not
right now.
gonna be off the top of
Go.
my head. I can't name 10 remakes from Sony. What are you talking about? But one of the games that I
Last of
do
Us
love that
Part
they
One
remade
remake.
was Windbreaker. And again, when you make games that were not first made for HD and you make it HD, it looks that much better. So I'm glad they were trying to do this with some of their games. But all I'm saying is they are still trying to make newer innovations on top of y'all requesting them to remake some of their older innovations. It's like
Which
it's not
it's
we can't
fine.
ask this from companies. I'm just saying that this that's
Why not? Why not? You can have
because
multiple studios working on things. I'm not saying Nintendo needs to stop making new games and
I,
focus only on remakes and
I agree
remasters.
with y'all. No, what? I agree. I agree. I just think for the next game that y'all decide to want to buy for $100, understand that $100 is gonna include the cost of them remaking all these old ass games you
Hey,
want. So I'm just
that
saying.
$100 is still cheaper than going out buying the old hardware, buying the TV, buying the
It's
adapter,
not
buying
about
the
cheaper
games,
because you
buying the
buying
memory
multiple
card.
games. You buying multiple new games that are gonna cost $100. It's not gonna be cheaper. You're gonna end up
Hey,
paying way more out the money if you want companies to do this type of business model. I just
hey,
no, it
these
ain't gonna be
these
cheaper.
these old games cost that. My homeboy actually found his old DS and he has a copy of Pokemon Black 2
Nice.
and he said right now it goes for $90.
Yes, it can, but it also can.
$90.
Those type of collectors or collectibles, they can go up and down. It all depends on the actual need of these products or that ain't the word I want to use, not need, but yeah, the pricing can go up and down, and then somebody can go out there to some type of flea market and find that same game in someone else's junk, which at the time they thought was junk, and they can buy it for 5 cents. So it's
Uh,
like it's many different ways that these things can be. You can come across these things.
this will be my closing thoughts. If it's easier to pirate the material, it'll be pirated. Make it easy for me to buy, and I'll buy it. But if I have to jump through hoops and pirating is easier, not saying I'm gonna pirate, obviously, but pirating is easier. People are gonna pirate.
As a consumer, I would say pirate away. As an actual company, don't steal my stuff.
So I'll say this because look, it's all love here. And the only reason why I went hard like I did is because I'm just gonna flat out be honest and say I disagree with all that, right? But that doesn't mean I don't respect where you're coming from.
Same
I don't
here. Yeah.
respect your thoughts, yeah, but I just was not gonna, you know what I mean? Because I honestly, you know how I feel about that stuff, man. And I just kind of look at it like I guess this could be my closing thoughts, but I kind of look at how much of a sad day it would be like if you looked at film, for example, and you got movies like I think Casablanca or Citizen
Hey, okay.
Kane,
Yeah, I
and
know
if
those.
you ever, yeah, and if you ever exactly, and if imagine if those places were like, you know what, nope, we're shutting all that down because we're worried about this or that,
But
and people like Kid would have never known, they would have
but
never known the
here's the
marvel of cinematic history because of
Here's the
that. So,
here's the thing. I agree with you, but those two titles that you mentioned are titles that did not impact my youth and my life. The titles
but
that
did
did
you
impact
though?
my no, hold on. The titles that did impact my youth and my life, the things I grew up watching, are not on streaming. So I understand your argument. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, we cannot expect these companies to do what's right. All I'm saying, these companies, from their standpoint, they're not going to invest in the shows that I grew up watching to be on their streaming services if they don't have enough people requesting it. So all I'm saying is it's a niche market to do a lot of these remakes. It costs the company some money. And so like Last of Us, they're gonna try to cut corners. They don't want to spend that kind of money because they're still investing in newer things. And technology isn't cheap, and technology grows the industry. They're putting a lot of money into the newer things. But I agree with you. I'm just saying, as a consumer, I agree. I'm just saying, I'm also looking at it from the other standpoint, the other perception of the company itself.
Hey man, I have a saying: you can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's what I'm
So if
saying.
you,
That's
but
exactly
that,
what
but
I'm
that,
I'm
that
gonna eat
no,
saying.
that
but that's
cake. I'm gonna eat
well,
that cake.
I
I
know, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you can't, on one hand, you can't say, hey, look, we can't, we shouldn't be held responsible for it. Hey, great, cool. So I'll just get over here. No, don't you do that because that's our property. No, bro, that ain't how it works. So it's cool
That
though,
is
but
that is how it
that's
works.
not.
That is
I mean,
exactly how
yeah,
it works.
legally it does work that way, but I'm just saying that that's not how you can anticipate people to react if they really want to enjoy that thing that existed. Like
Hey,
that's not
you
gonna
can
happen.
you can pay
But
your fines, you
again,
can go to
it's
jail, you
all
can do
good.
all the things illegally you want to do to get what you want. I'm saying you
All
can take
because
the
you want.
risk.
Yeah, all because you want to enjoy history. But hey, guess what? That's cool. I mean, it's fine. It's
It's not
fine.
just history. It's not our actual product. Once we purchase these products, we can't even make copies and resell them like you already know. There's rules to these things when you purchase them. I'm just saying, it's as a consumer, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, but I think someone still also should be very logical about how we trying to present the argument.
Mm-mm-mm.
I
This
mean,
is
who
sad.
wouldn't want
I'll
to
tell
make
you
a
one
lot of
thing.
money?
I'll tell you one thing. It'd be a sad day if we get to a point in the world where everything comes that way, where it's like, hey, look, I literally control this land. I control this area. No, nothing. You can't do anything with it. Yeah. Forget betterment of humanity or advancement of humanity. Doesn't matter. I got rights to it. Don't mess with it. So
Wait till you get
that's my last
implants.
closing. That's my closing
Wait,
argument.
I'm just saying, wait till you get those
I
implants. Wait
I
till those
Deus
brain
Ex.
implants, and you
I
want those
Deus Ex.
upgrades.
What you
I
say,
mean, just like say,
kid?
yeah.
I Deus Ex.
I'm just saying, wait until the technology gets to the point where you have it in your own bodies. Those technologies are not owned by you. They'll be owned by the company. They can turn them off, they can update them, they can do whatever they want. We don't have that type of
Why?
control over the things
Why
that
you?
you're wanting control over. It just
Why are you
these are
spoiling the Deus Ex games now?
I'm,
First you spoiled The Walking Dead. Now you spoiling Deus Ex.
I'm not. I'm
Spoiler
just
alert, man.
talking logically. That's something you really should think about when it comes to technology and who owns what. Like I understand from a consumer point. I understand it. I
Hey
just
man,
don't take it the wrong way. Just say.
all I know is I'm moving into the jungle, man.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is
Africa,
there
here I
any
come.
jungles anymore? They cutting down so many trees. I mean,
And that's so scary too, because they're gonna be like, "Hey, this is our area. We got own all this. Like, you own Amazon now? All right, that's what's up."
that's why
So I guess
Amazon
we
calls
just
itself
lose.
Amazon.
There
They
you
are the
go. We
jungle.
run
that's
out of
a
air.
good question. Why is Amazon called Amazon?
I
I just
don't
thought
know.
about that. It's a good question.
Hey man, it's a prophecy, man.
Y'all know Amazon started out as
Mm.
a book company?
Of course.
A book company. That's
Yep.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
And now
Well,
they
I think
own
that was
everything.
fun.
That was
That
fun.
was a lot of fun, actually.
I think we definitely woke Star up now.
Yeah.
That
Mission
man wide
accomplished.
awake, boy. You ready to go?
Mission accomplished, man.
Yikes.
All right. Well,
Hey, what was our other topic?
Oh, we did have another topic. Apex.
yeah, but I think we're running out of time.
Did we? What time is it? Where is it? Where we at?
It's 8:58, y'all.
Oh man,
What
I
was the
usually have a
Apex?
timer.
You got a timer, man? Oh man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we way over time. Okay.
Oh God. But how much?
Well, to be fair, I actually started recording like I think 10 minutes before we started or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
true.
I think my TV just turned on, so maybe that might have to be it.
Technology.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey,
Exactly.
on that note,
It's taking control over the podcast time now. So see, this is scary, man. I'm scared.
Yikes. Don't be scared,
we
man. Just
appreciate
accept
y'all
it.
as always.
But yeah, folks, thanks again for tuning in. Again, as usual, please leave us your thoughts and comments, especially after this one. You know, like what do you think? You know, who do you like kind of agree with more? You know, as a kid, me or Star? Do you kind of all see where we're coming from all together?
I see what
It's
you
all
did just
love.
then. I see what you did. You threw my name at the end because it's subliminally saying that no, he's the last person to think about agree with
Oh man.
me or kid. I get it.
I mean, you ever heard the expression "say the best for last"?
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
See, exactly. No, it was the first thing, guys. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Nah, but for real, like everybody, just like please, leave us your thoughts about it and kind of share what you think. Like, do you feel like how do you feel about the whole preservation thing and the remake and remasters and all that stuff? We would love to hear from you. I'll leave all the information in the show notes as usual. But until next time, we'll catch y'all later.
All right,
Hey,
y'all.
let's get it.
Stay safe.
All right, peace.